behalf of the University, I declare open this special congregation convened to award the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, on Daw Aung San Suu Kyi. As we gather here today, we, as always, acknowledge and celebrate the first Australians on whose traditional lands we meet and pay our respects to the elders of the Ngunnawal people, past and present. We're delighted that Australia's National University, an institution established to place our nation's research and teaching effort at the very forefront of world performance, is able to welcome to this campus today such a distinguished visitor and supporting group. I call on the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Young.
Chancellor, it is with great pleasure that I present to you Daw Aung San Suu Kyi, that you may read the university's citation and confer on her the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, for her outstanding contribution to the service of society.
Daw Aung San Suu Kyi was leader of the movement for political reform in Burma, now formerly known as Myanmar. She is an inspiration to countless people here and around the world. On her shoulders, she carries the hopes of the Burmese people as she seeks to give full voice to their desire for a more peaceful and democratic future. For them, she is affectionately Daw Suu. For the rest of the world, she is an exemplar of quiet courage and determination in the face of oppression and a champion of the peaceful path toward a better and more just world. Born in 1945, the daughter of Burma's independence hero Aung San and his wife Khin Chi, Daw Aung San Suu Kyi has taken a remarkable journey. She studied in India and the United Kingdom, married an esteemed scholar of Bhutan and Tibet, Dr. Michael Aris. Together they settled in Oxford, where they raised two sons, Alexander and Kim. After travelling home to nurse her ailing mother, Daw Aung San Suu Kyi came to global attention in 1988 as a leading figure in the effort to end decades of oppressive dictatorship. She rallied the people, taking responsibility for a movement that inspired a new generation of resistance to military rule. Young Burmese flocked to her message of change and saw in her a vision of democratic possibility. The tragic consequences of that 1988 uprising have left many scars, with too many of Burma's best and brightest crushed by the government crackdowns, countless others fled, including those who made their way to Australia, and many of whom are celebrating this important occasion with us today. In the aftermath of the crackdown, Daw Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy won the 1990 election, but was never able to take power. Its members have spent the subsequent 2 decades struggling against military rule, seeking any opportunity to put the case for democratic change. For her non-violent campaign, Daw Aung San Suu Kyi was awarded the 1991 Nobel Peace Prize. Since then, she's received more than 130 awards and honours, including the Companion of the Order of Australia, awarded in 1996, and the United States Congressional Gold Medal in 2008. Her steadfast opposition to military dictatorship offers the world an example of courage that humbles us all. In her quiet moments under house arrest, Daw Aung San Suu Kyi's extraordinary resilience was tested by the separation from her supporters, above all from her children and her mortally ill husband. A defiant, graceful presence in her lakeside home, she carried a sad awareness of the nation's troubles as they persisted. Yet through all those long and difficult years, her perseverance and unshakable will became a beacon for the Burmese people and their supporters worldwide. As her people and the world have waited with mounting, continuing impatience for the end of military rule, her resolve has never wavered. Daw Aung San Suu Kyi is a global symbol of democratic purpose, and her political party, the National League for Democracy, is a powerful force for social transformation. In historic struggle, she's demonstrated absolute determination. The future of her country must be better than its past. Today, Daw Aung San Suu Kyi is the chairperson of the National League for Democracy, and she was elected as a Member of Parliament in the by-election of April 2012. She also now leads the Parliament's Rule of Law and Tranquility Committee and the committees for the reinvigoration of Yangon General Hospital and Yangon University. We're delighted that the Australian National University now enjoys a revitalised relationship with Yangon University, one that we hope very much to strengthen greatly in the years and decades to come. Aung San Suu Kyi's visit to our university comes at a time of significant change in Burma's politics. The recent election of National League for Democracy MPs to the Parliament offers new opportunities for democratic politics and for the creation of a more inclusive political system. We're proud that in 2012 we welcomed a delegation of NLD MPs to our university on their first trip abroad. In welcoming Aung San Suu Kyi to this university and in conferring upon her the highest honour we can, we also acknowledge and honour the many other Burmese who have fought for peace and democracy in their country. Her personal struggle for life and dignity is mirrored in the experiences of countless others. Aung San Suu Kyi deserves our highest endorsement. She is the outstanding Burmese political figure of her generation, distinguished by her untold sacrifices and resilience. Her unflinching call for democratic rights has made a lasting impact here in Australia and around the world. Dorsu, with the authority of the university and with both pride and humility, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. You have to take your hat off. But I won't make you leave. Aung San Suu Kyi to briefly address the congregation. Dorsu.
I would like to thank the faculty and students of Australian National University and all the peoples of Australia for the honour that they have given me today, conferred on me today. I've often wondered why universities confer honours, honorary degrees on politicians. Seriously, I've wondered about this. And I think this is a recognition of the fact that politics is part of the education of a nation. The path that a nation takes is very much shaped by the politics that it adopts over long years. Our nation took the wrong path 50 years back, more than 50 years back. For about half a century, we were under military rule. Military authoritarian rule is not meant to educate people. It is meant actually to prevent education in its broadest sense, because it narrows the minds of our people. It narrows the mind, not just military authoritarianism, but any kind of authoritarianism narrows the mind through fear. We have to free ourselves from fear if we are to go forward in a world that is changing constantly. These changes are recognized by educational institutions which are aware of the development of the human intelligence as well as, I hope, the human heart. Because in our struggle throughout the years, we have discovered that mere intelligence is not alone, it's not enough. We need dedication and commitment that comes from the heart. The great majority of my colleagues who stood by us through thick and thin and who suffered far more greatly than I did, stood by us because their hearts were fully engaged in our cause. These days, there are people who think that education is merely an intellectual exercise. I would like to think that it is far broader than that, and that education is a shaping of a human being made up of the physical, the mental, as well as the spiritual. Spiritual values are not always considered fashionable, but I think they are of extreme importance. I've always said that the true revolution of Burma must be a revolution of the spirit. We have to change the way in which we think, the way in which we feel towards the society in which we live, if we are to change it for the better. I have nothing against the military. In fact, I have often said, and often said it in spite of great criticism, that I have great affection for the military, the Army of Burma, that was founded by my father. But I do not accept that armies are meant to rule countries. Armies are meant to defend the people, to protect the nation, to make sure that the peoples of the land enjoy all the rights of citizenship within the framework of a fair and just constitution. At this moment, we are struggling for a fair and just constitution in our country, a constitution that will ensure that Burma truly becomes a democratic society. I have no illusions about democracy, and I'm sure Australians have no illusions about democracy. Those who have lived with the democracy have no illusions about it. But at the same time, they are fully aware of its values. And I subscribe to the simple view that democracy may not be perfect, but it is still the best political system that man has managed to invent. My people want to enjoy the fruits of their labor. My people want to live in security and in freedom. We want to live in a society that is just and a society that allows us to realize our full potential. These are not great demands, but for these simple demands to be met, we need a political system and a government that harmonizes with the aspirations of our peoples. And our peoples are many. We are a country of many ethnic nationalities. We are a union. Burma became independent in 1948 as the Union of Burma. I have always thought that union was the most beautiful name and that it reflected what the fathers of our independence movement wished for our country. A country united in its people, a country united because its peoples were united, because we were all agreed that we wished for the simple goodness of life. We did not, as a nation, wish to bully others or to use violence to get what we want. As a nation, we want to live in peace and we want to live in harmony with our neighbors and with the rest of the world, and to contribute what we can towards the betterment of humankind. This is still the wish of the great majority of our people, and I hope today that the world will help us to realize our dreams. Realizing dreams is very hard work. I've always said that there is no hope without endeavor. What we hope for, we must endeavor to achieve through great hard work. Our people have worked hard for many decades to turn our country back into a peaceful and safe, secure society. We are not yet at the end of the road. In fact, we're just at the very beginning, and we need to do a lot more that we may progress further, and we need the help and support of the world. We need the world to recognize that Burma is just starting out on its journey to democracy. There are too many who believe that we're almost at the end of the road. This is not so. We are just at the beginning. But we are confident that we will be able to walk the path that we have chosen for ourselves, and that we will be able to reach our goals our goal, which is a happy and united nation, a true union of Burma. Now, I think I should explain why I say Burma while I'm about it, because these days people are quite confused as to whether to refer to my country as Myanmar or Burma. The very simple reason why I've referred to my country as Burma is because this is the name that was accepted for international use when we became independent in 1948. And the people were not consulted when the military regime decided to change the name to Myanmar quite suddenly. In fact, it was just announced one day, and the people were expected to accept it. This, of course, is far from the democratic ideal. So I will continue to refer to my country as Burma until such time as the people of Burma make it quite clear that they wish it to be known by another name abroad. And today, I don't want to push this point too hard. Today, I just want to say that I very much appreciate the ability of the people of Australia to accept different values, different thoughts, different ideas, different cultures, and different traditions, and to put them all together in something that makes them uniquely Australian. I would like to congratulate you on what you have achieved. And I would also like to remind you that you are unique, and you do not have to go all Asian. I understand that this is the trend of Australia today, to try to become Asianized, as it were. You are special because you are a unique combination of the East and the West. Please retain what is special to you. You do not have to be like everybody else. You do not have to be like people who are near you. This is something we had to learn the hard way over the last few decades, that we did not have to agree with those around us who were more eager to conform and to keep the peace with a very small p, rather than to strike out on a road that was different, that was daring, and that was challenging. We started out on that road, and we intend to go along that road. It is a road that has no end. There is no end to the quest for democracy, because once we have achieved democratic governance, we have to make certain that democratic culture takes root in our society. There will never be an end to the journey that any country takes. And I would like to take this opportunity to say that I hope and pray that Australia will be with us along this journey, and that the peoples of Australia will always guard what is unique to them, a beautiful blend of the East and the West, and be an example of the possibility of genuine unity out of diversity. Thank you.
Sue, everything we've just heard from you has confirmed our expectations and reinforced our admiration. We admire you not only for your grace and courage and resilience, but also for the steely determination with which you pursued the democratisation of your country, and with which you continue to pursue the democratisation, a project that is manifestly incomplete and in which all Australians and their governments will continue to very strongly support you. We admire you not just as an icon, as of course you are, as of course the world recognises you, but we admire you now as what you've become, a gritty, hands-on politician, determined to brook no opposition, least of all from linguistic authoritarians, about the future of your country. In the road ahead, we look forward to a very strong continuing association with you here at ANU, claiming a little piece of ownership of you, along with about 130 other universities, as one of our graduates. But we really do hope that we can maintain that association, that we can continue to work with you and your advisors, ultimately in government, to see this country's transformation complete and your democratic journey complete. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence today. I now declare this congregation closed.
Thank you for participating in this very special ceremony this morning, everybody, but we ask that you please remain seated as the official party leave the hall. So if you could remain seated just for a couple more moments for us. Thank you.